Now I want to talk about something that has been left in the back of our minds and hasn't really been talked about or brought up. PC has been getting a lot of love considering that's where early access was going to take place. But we need to talk about consoles, and not just any console. We need to talk about a console that can meet that middle ground of exceptional, accessible, and inevitable. The PlayStation 5. This console's adaptation of Esports Boxing Club matters way more than you think. Regardless of where you are in the console war or who you side with, numbers don't lie. The Xbox Series X has sold an impressive 6.5 million units, making it the fastest selling Xbox of all time. And don't get me wrong, the Series X matters as well. But the PlayStation 5 has sold 10 million units since November, making it the fastest selling console of all time. That means based on the numbers and the amount of units sold, by the time the PlayStation 5's life cycle is complete, over 150 million plus units will be sold. The PlayStation 5 will change the gaming landscape forever and will give Esports Boxing Club an amazing and exciting opportunity to truly shine and become the best boxing video game ever made. Let's talk about some of the details that will create this elevated opportunity for ESBC when it comes to the PlayStation 5. Sony is a large and massive brand. It's worldwide, and its console is the fastest selling, which means simply being available on the PS Store when many have not seen a boxing game in years will immediately give ESBC an incredibly high ceiling for success, especially now in its early stages where there aren't that many native PS5 titles yet. With the lack of a true licensed boxing title in over 10 years, it will stick out like a sore thumb and force the public to take notice. It is even possible that if this route is tackled aggressively, then Steel City Interactive, the development team for ESBC, will not have to even sign or join a publisher, and they may be able to retain their independence, which may or may not affect their ability to be creative and to forge their own game before its release. Who knows? Maybe Sony could even be the one looking to publish the title, which may put it into the stratosphere regarding recognition and, of course, subsequently, sales. And this isn't just a point to ensure ESBC is successful for ESBC's sake. The sales matter not just for Esports Boxing Club, but for all of us, all the boxing video game fans, because the success of ESBC will determine if we ever get a licensed boxing game ever again. This is a powerful statement that isn't a hyperbole, even though it comes off as one. We haven't had a licensed boxing video game in so long because the headache of getting fighters each individually to accept the terms may just not be worth it. ESBC is taking that leap, and a release on PlayStation 5 can ensure that they land on their feet and show other developers that yes, this can be done successfully, and it will also open the door for continuous progress and updates from Esports Boxing Club moving forward. Now, let's briefly talk about the technical aspects of each platform and why I still give the nod to the PlayStation 5 and its massive importance to the success of ESBC. If we were to compare the processing power of the PlayStation 5 to any other console or even PC for that matter, there's no denying that the PS5 is within the top tier. The PlayStation has ray tracing just like the PC and the Series X. One thing to take of note is in this current landscape, a PC has a lot more graphical fidelity in 2021 than an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. But the differences from a PlayStation 5 or even an Xbox Series X to a 2021 PC isn't as far off as one might think. With the SSD loading times and the processing of environments, renders are insanely fast, and that will be experienced by those who have the PlayStation 5. We can also talk about the unique elements that come with the PlayStation 5. The DualSense controller. The amount of creativity that can be applied to the controller itself with native support will bring with it an added element of immersion and realism. Just imagine holding the block button while your opponent hits into your block and being able to feel those pops from the adaptive triggers, or feeling the difference between a light jab, a hook via the unique haptic feedback, or even the ability to feel the difference between getting hit from your left or right side and that being represented distinctly by the haptics of the controller. When you take everything into account, there is no secret that the PlayStation 5 will create possibly the biggest bang for Esports Boxing Club's buck, and definitely a unique experience for the user. One last point regarding the PlayStation 5. Even though PCs are great and provide an amazingly high graphics potential, believe me, I know, I have a game PC of my own. If we were being honest, truly honest with ourselves, a PC release will not be as epic as a PlayStation 5 release. And for the average person out there, an entire $2,000 PC setup is just not a viable option. Regardless of how much one desires the most recent technology, that bridge to recent tech is more easily crossed with the PlayStation 5, as evident with the 10 million units sold thus far. Although there may be more PC players than PS5 players, I would venture a guess that a PlayStation player will have a higher conversion rate to be open to playing Esports Boxing Club. So in my humble opinion, in terms of marketing, sales, and overall success, I truly believe that nothing is more important than ensuring a release on PlayStation 5, and estimating that PC players will probably get maybe a December release. I would stress that a PlayStation 5 release should not be that far off. If we consider a possible December PC release, then PS5 should release no later than February or March. I think a long wait for those who have a PlayStation 5 or any console for that matter, being that this boxing niche is incredibly unique for gamers, will be a mistake. A mistake that can affect boxing games for years to come. Kudos to Steel City Interactive for giving us a game after 10 years. Now let's just make sure that we don't have to worry about the next 10. I've thought about this for a while, and nothing creates more inherent excitement outside of the product itself than being on console and what that means for sales and for the player experience. The only other thing I can think of, and maybe this is for another video, well, it's a no-brainer. Break the mold, be the first one to do it for boxing games. Give us one leaderboard and one online world. Yes, I'm talking about cross-platform online gaming, but again, that's a talk for another day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it brings to the forefront the conversation of the all-important console release, and more specifically, a PlayStation 5 release. Well, this is Boxing Fanatico, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.